welcome to So Good the Podcast. I'm KD. Let's get the show started. Our show is brought to you by the Look of Greatness. Before I start, my thought prayers goes out to everyone. We outside today, enjoying this beautiful weather. I have a couple talent to bring to you all's attention, no particular order. Check them out. Bryce Underwood. Bryce Underwood is a 6'4" quarterback, junior. Belleville High School. He committed to LSU, but he had a plethora of other universities that was sought after him. A brief background on him: he was a freshman season. He led his team to the state title game while he completed 12 of 21 for 284 yards, 5 touchdowns, while also rushing for 62 yards in the touchdowns as well over Rochester Adams High School. Freshman year stats: he had 2,888 and 39 touchdowns with 4 interceptions. Had also 6 rushing touchdowns too, and he was named the Max Prep's National Freshman of the Year. Sophomore season, he was also named Max Prep Player of the state of Michigan. In his junior season stats, he had 3,165 yards, 40 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He had 160 yards rushing with 7 touchdowns rushing. This is after going 38 game winning streak through his career, and was named the Michigan High School Football Player of the Year. His senior season was rated as the top quarterback and top overall recruit in the class of 2025. He had offers, like I said, he committed to LSU, but Alabama, Ohio State, Florida, Penn State, and Michigan. He's talented. As of late, these talented athletes are, dual quarterbacks for the most part. The game has sped up. It's more of a what they call a spread offense type of ordeal. So if your quarterback is not mobile, you're going to have very difficult to win playing football. So he's very talented. He's a student of the game. He's very athletic. He plays within the pocket, and he also can get out of the pocket. He could definitely throw the football. He looks to throw first and get his teammates involved, and if there's nothing open, he's definitely going to create what's best for himself and the team to score on that drive, and possibly win that game. So he's very talented. In the very near future, he went to a great university, LSU. He's creating his own lane. He's relatively in the very near future. He's going to play early. Won't surprise me. He start for LSU. That's how talented he is, and that was a great choice for him. The likes of James Daniels in the NFL. So he see that he got an opportunity that they're going to take care of him at LSU. And, you all check him out, give your eyes and ears an opportunity for that young man. In the very near future, his name going to be called very high, whatever profession league he goes into. Next on my radar is Isaiah Hardge, if I pronounced that correctly. This talent is a two-way player. So happy he plays on Colorado. Travis Hunter clone, as they trying to call him. But he's talented. He's on my radar, but on most people, he's not on most people's radar. But he's a 5'10". He was a receiver, but he converted into cornerback, but he's a two-way player. He's a freshman. He was from Hollywood, Florida High School, St. Thomas Aquinas. That's the high school he went to. A little brief background. He played 3 games in 2023. They was only exclusively on special teams. High school rankings, he was a 3-star prospect by the recruiting services. ESPN ranked him as the number 134 wide receiver in the class and 152 player from Florida. St. Thomas Aquinas stats: junior and senior, he combined to catch 48 passes for 733 yards and 10 touchdowns, and also picking up 34 yards on kick return and 104 on punt return for a total of 883 all-purpose yards. He's talented, and he's watching Travis Hunter do what he does, and the coaching staff is allowing Travis Hunter to be who he wants to be, even though it's still underneath the culture of what they're offering to the community and the people, Colorado and Coach Prime. So he's learned that they will allow him to be his best self, to play offense and defense. And like I said, right now the game has changed to where as though play offense, you're talented enough, you can play both sides of football. Now, it's a different story when you get to the NFL. They are very selective. Their structure is a little different, but the game is transitioning into the phase of they talented, find a way to get them the football, find a way to keep them on the football field, because it gives the best chance for the team to win. And that's what it's about. It's about winning. That's it. That's all. And this young man is definitely going to take over once Travis Hunter leaves, respectfully, when he goes to the NFL. And I want you all to keep your eyes and ears open for that talent. He's very, very dope. Now, NBA news. It was a trade. It was a big-time trade. I saw it coming, the trade. This individual player was not happy. Not the fact of he just didn't feel welcome. He had the numbers. Excuse me. He had the numbers. He just didn't feel like he was more of the focus point of the offense. And he's very talented. Give me a second. Talking about the trade with Timberwolves and the New York Knicks with Karl Anthony Towns, and Julius Randle. They 1 year apart, with Towns being a year younger than Randle. Randle is a scorer. He averaged like 24 points. He's very talented. He's a perimeter player. He runs the floor. Towns also is a perimeter player. He runs the floor as well. The only difference, Julius Randle was 24 points even, 9.2 rebounds, 5 assists a game. He shot 47.2 from the field goal. He was, like I said, he didn't feel like he was the focus point of the team. And he can play. Now, who got the best of this draft? Well, before I get to that point, Karl Anthony Towns he averaged 21.8, 8.3 rebounds, 3 assists a game. He shot 50.4% from the field goal. Right now, instantly, I believe Timberwolves won that. They're pretty similar players outside of, like I said, Towns has been a year younger. He's a little bit more of a rim protector than Julius Randle. But Julius Randle is not fearful of protecting the rim, or trying to at least. But that's the only difference. 1 year of age and rim protecting a little bit more from Towns. But as far as winning now, I believe New York will be in a conference where they are as far as where they would be playing in the playoffs. Timberwolves has a better chance of going a little further than New York right now. They got also some role players too. Dante, that came from New York. He's definitely a great role player. Timberwolves, that would be definitely an added piece for the Timberwolves coming off the, been in the rotation. But in the long haul, I believe the Hornets might won that trade because they was relatively young and just added more younger pieces, to go with Ball, the point guard there. So, in the long run, the Hornets right now, and the Timberwolves, the Knicks, pretty much the same. I just believe they just went and did what was best for the organization to trade Randle, to not be a disgruntled in the locker room. That's pretty much all as I see it. Other than that, they pretty much similar players. So the Hornets, like I said, in the long run, because they got the younger players, they also got 2 future second-round picks from the Knicks, and also got a 2025 second-round pick from the Timberwolves in cash consideration. The Wolves are also will get a first-round pick. They got that from the Knicks via the Pistons. So this will be very interesting to see this year NBA games, to see who will be the favorites. Right now, like I said, Timberwolves is one of the best contenders for that championship. Of course, the Boston Celtics, the Lakers, just a few teams, the Nuggets. But a dark horse, will be someone that you can rarely see or come from out of nowhere. And like I said, I like the Hornets. They're in it for the future because they're relatively young. Once they get a grasp of each individual and how they like to play basketball and communication and the scheme and the right coaching staff, they'll be all right. They'll definitely be all right. I have to talk about this. Sorry, we lost one of the greats in the basketball world. Dikembe Mutombo, Hall of Famer. He dies at the age of 58. Thoughts and prayers goes out to him and his family and his loved ones. He was fighting brain cancer. He was the first NBA global ambassador. Dikembe Mutombo was dominant, a rim protector, true rim protector. It was not easy going in the paint going against him or whatever respectable team Mutombo was playing on. He was well respected worldwide, but the game itself, arguably one of the best defensive players to play the game of basketball. So prayers and everything goes out to his family once again. I'm gonna talk about NFL, this primetime games on this platform for me. I call this upset week. This is an upset week. Over the last few weeks, few shows, been hitting all cylinders, contingent to when it comes to the sports and football especially. These games are very interesting this week. A lot of upsets. I got to start off with tonight games. Thursday night, that's at 8:15. The Buccaneers at the Falcons. Buccaneers is 3-1. The Falcons 2-2. Kirk Cousins is actually starting to get a groove of what is being asked of him in this new culture in Atlanta. And over the last couple games, he's been definitely playing much, much better. The Buccaneers, for the most part, have been playing pretty good all year. Baker Mayfield's playing some amazing football, best of his career. And Godwin, and of course, we got Evans and them over there, and David on that defensive side, and Todd Bowles on that defense. I just see that the Falcons, they won a tough game last week, I believe by a field goal. This is going to be a very good game. It's a good opener for this week. For the Falcons to win this game, they will need Kirk Cousins to continue to do well. They believe in Kirk Cousins. He's still dealing with somewhat of the injury from last year. But like I said, he's getting the flow of the offense and what's being asked of him. And I think they will continue and get this home win at home in Atlanta against the Bucs. It's not going to be easy. But I like Atlanta defense secondary matchup with the Buccaneers receiving corps. And I like the offensive weapons for the Falcons compared to the Buccaneers defense going against their weapons. Now, like I said, they got Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles is not to be played with. He definitely loves to blitz and disguise his scheme. I just think Kirk Cousins has seen enough football, and they will have something played out for, to give them the best chance of winning against the Buccaneers. So I see the Falcons. It's going to be tough holding out and getting that home win against the Bucs. You got the Jets at the Vikings. This is Sunday. It's 9:30 a.m. The Jets is 2-2. The Vikings 4-0. That first game I see going to 50 points. Now for this game, the Jets against the Vikings, this is going to be a defensive game. It's going to be about the quarterback that make the least mistakes. With Aaron Rodgers and Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's playing some amazing football. Aaron Rodgers is starting to getting very comfortable in that offense from his injury from last year. I see the Jets winning this game. It's definitely going under 50 points. It's going to be some of the most exotic blitzing from the defensive side of football for both teams. The Vikings have some of the underrated defense over there. The Jets, one of the best defensive teams over the last several years. It's an upset there with the Jets. Just see that, giving the Vikings first loss at home. It's not going to be easy, though, but I like the matchups. I think Sam Darnold has been playing amazing up to this point, and this is probably, outside of his practicing against his defense, this is probably one of the best defenses he's going to face. So I see the Jets winning that game in a low-scoring game. The Saints at the Chiefs. That's Monday night. That's at 8:15. Saints 2-2. The Chiefs is 4-0. The Chiefs at home is very difficult. Old media, some fans say that the refs have somewhat to do with it. Of course, the people in the press box, wives, girlfriends. Don't want to say no particular names, but it's very difficult to win in Kansas City. But it's a great matchup. This game here, it can go either way. It can go high scoring, it can go under 50. But right now, where we are in this season, this should be a low scoring game as well. I like the matchups with the Saints on offensive side of football. They can run the football, and they can also throw it down the field or play action. The Chiefs could have similar skilled players as well. The Chiefs is having a little difficult running the football, and the Saints has a good front. They have a good defense overall. I believe the Saints would do enough to win this game and give the Chiefs their first loss as well. This week, it's not going to be easy. Going against homeboy at home, primetime game. It's going to be difficult. But the Saints is playing some good football. They're going to need to do all things, all cylinders, do what it needs to be done on offensive side to put some points on the board, and then they got to get some stops. And I think they will. I think they put enough pressure on Mahomes and contain Travis Kelce and the crew over there. I believe that the Chiefs lost Bryce. That's a tough loss. So that's another factor, factoring in on this game for the Saints to get out of there with a win. Next game, we got the Colts at the Jaguars. Colts 2-2. The Jaguars are 0-4. That's Sunday game. That's at 1 p.m. I know Flacco is most likely probably will play if Richardson can't go. Flacco seems like he's still playing at a high level. Respectfully, Super Bowl champion. He knows how to play football. The Jaguars are eventually gonna get this win, and I think they're gonna get it at home. Finally, get a win on the standings. They still like the coach to have Peterson, and they haven't quit on him yet. The Jaguars talented. They just haven't gotten things clicking all cylinders yet. I think Sunday would be their first win at home and get that W against the Colts. You have the Browns at the Commanders. That's Sunday at 1 p.m. You got the Browns 1-3 and the Commanders 3-1. Now with this one, old media, it's only a handful of people that actually gave credit to Washington this week. This season, with the quarterback and what situation was better, Caleb Williams and Jane Daniels. Old media, mainstream media as they call it, they're giving credit where it's due now, right? Some people's putting Caleb Williams and Jane Daniels in the same conversation. Outside of them being rookies, that's pretty much it. On this platform, did a live draft. Jane Daniels was the first quarterback off the draft board, my draft board. Then the best quarterback in the draft. Most people had Caleb Williams. Now that Jaden's been performing at a very, very high level, and I stated, I'm not sure what episode, that he's playing the best football from the quarterback position up to this point. He's the best quarterback in the league right now. Up to this point. Not talking about career, I'm just talking about right now playing football. Who would you rather have play football right now today? You got a few people, Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. It's not that many quarterbacks that you would actually want to be playing for your team right now today that's playing at a high level. And Jane Daniels is doing that. He's breaking records every week. It's going to be difficult to continue that process. It's very difficult. It's difficult for him to do what he just have done so far up to this point. But I believe that this is going to be a very difficult game for the Commanders. Even though they're at home, it's a sold-out crowd. The fans going to be there to support. It's going to be very, very loud there. I'm just saying, contingent to the matchups, Cleveland has, on defense, has a front. They have linebackers, and they have secondary. They have a great defense. Now, have they played up to their standards this year? No, not yet. They have Watson over there. He hasn't really played up to his standards and what the organization is expecting from him. They have the wide receiver corps. So the Commanders, with Cooper And they have one over there at Cleveland that's complaining. I think it's Father speaking on social media, complaining about his son not getting any targets or being much more involved in the game. So the Commanders will have this will be a tough task to win this week. Watson can move a little bit. He's gonna make plays. He can get the football to his weapons, Amari Cooper. So it's gonna be a very interesting game for the Commanders at home. The defense for the Commanders still need to step up. They played their best game this year thus far, getting several turnovers and a couple sacks, several sacks. They're gonna have to continue that, and I believe that they will this week against a very sneaky team in the Cleveland Browns. Wouldn't surprise me if Cleveland win this game. But for them to win it, it would take Deshaun Watson to play one of his best games thus far this season, and the Cleveland Browns defense to show up. That's the only way. Myles Garrett taking over the game. That type of ordeal. He's a walking Hall of Famer right now. The Commanders going to have, a tough task to face him. But here's the key point, or the X factor for the Commanders that can kind of like help contain Myles Garrett, or at least don't allow him to dominate the game. Brandon Coleman, the rookie left tackle from TCU, from the Washington Commanders. He was hurt in the preseason. Didn't really get too much reps. OTAs he did, but not relatively in the preseason. But the last couple games, he's been dominant. Gave up a sack against the Bengals. Was it Henderson, I believe? Outside of that, he was very dominant in that game. And last week against Arizona, he was definitely dominant. So he's getting the flow, the feel of what the football of the NFL really means and what it stands for. And he's getting the flow of it too as well. And the coach staff see that he's talented, of course, because they drafted him. But for it to be showcasing on film, he's very agile for the size of the offensive lineman. He's very fast. He's very dominant. He has the skill set and traits to be dominant. And for the Commanders, for you to get a franchise quarterback with a franchise left tackle, how much more can you ask for in a draft, one draft? That's why the organization, the team, the atmosphere, how people perceiving the Commanders this season, if you hit on draft picks, you can become a winner overnight. But you have to have the people that has the know-how, that knows how to win, that has a blueprint, an idea of what to do, how to go about doing it, and sticking to it. This organization the future is very, very bright. And what I would ask my people is to enjoy these moments. Enjoy it. Because it's been, 12 years? This type of excitement since RG3. That organization at that particular time, that regime, they didn't do right contingent to RG3. This organization, this ownership, management team, this culture, they're doing things right. They're going about it as whatever was best for the franchise and the team to win each and every week. Doesn't matter how much you play, how much you get paid for, what draft you was in. If you give the team the best chance to win every game, you will play. Nothing personal. It's all business. And this is what the Commanders have done. This is going to be a tough game. Easy should be 50 points. Somewhere near 50 points. The Washington Commanders, they definitely should be in the 20s somewhere, maybe 30s. Cleveland's going to score because it's going to be very difficult for the Commanders to contain their receiving corps, and they're getting another weapon, Cleveland, on the opposite side as well, Davis, I believe. So it's going to be a good game, high-scoring game possibly. For Cleveland to win, like I said, Deshaun Watson has to have a breakout game, and Myles Garrett has to dominate. Either one of them happen, the Commanders could run with this game and get their fourth consecutive win in this game. For the Commanders to win, Jay Daniels got to continue being the leader of this team, this franchise. Don't turn the football over. He got his first turnover last week. He overthrew it, but it was the right read. And he still, after that, he still continued to dominate in that game. So, he's a football scholar. He just loved the game. He's a student of the game. He's a leader, young leader. He's very mature for his age. and that's where we are. I'm gonna continue with it. Commanders win this game at home, with the fans being involved, affecting the game with a lot of penalties from the Cleveland Browns, and I think that would be the X factor of this game, the fans. So Commanders get out here with this win, make them 4-1. Now you talk about them continuing going up the chart, being one of the best teams, not the best team in the NFL, but it's a true test. So I see a lot of trades, rumors being thrown around with Davante Adams, and they have the Commanders, Jets, Cowboys in that conversation. It's a dark horse, and maybe New Orleans. The Commanders right now, Davante Adams can make any team better. But the thing is, will he want to be there? He has 2 years remaining. Both years not guaranteed, so I guess you can just release him if you want to, if he's not performing well. It's all about the asking price. Right now, at his age of 31, he still can contribute at a high level. He's one of the best receivers in the game right now, still up to this point in his career. If the Commanders feel as though they can help with the organization going forward and be part of this culture, they would definitely do it. They didn't do the Brandon Ayuk, so they didn't do him. Continue to trade him from the 49ers and bring him to this franchise. Yes, I know Davante Adams is a little different player, totally different player. But right now, I don't think that's what the Commanders should do. Depends on the compensation for him. They're talking about second round pick, possibly first. That's too much. That's too much for a 31-year-old player. Now, when would this trade happen? If it haven't happened, it's Thursday. Momo week, he probably won't play for the Raiders, Los Angeles Raiders. It should happen sometime next week, possibly. If the Commanders win this game, I could possibly see it happening because they feel as though they're going to go all the way. They feel like they have a great chance to win this year. Even without them, they have a great chance of winning this year. But if they win this game at home against Cleveland, I can see them making a trade. I can see them making a possible trade, but the price got to be right. Anything more than a third, 2 picks, third and the fifth, third and sixth, anything second pick and higher, Commanders should not do it. Continue to build this team. You hit on the franchise quarterback and the left tackle. Continue building this foundation and this culture that you have. And I believe Peters and them will continue to do that. And it's nice to hear that, the Commanders being linked to a walking Hall of Fame player. I just think right now in this stage of his career, early as a rookie, Jake Daniels, you don't need no distractions. So continue on this path for the Commanders going forward. Continue to dominate and, make the fans happy and the community happy because you got the backing of the fans and the community right now. And, I call old media, mainstream media is giving respect where it's due, as they should. They just need to, they just being the professional they are. Let me just leave it at that. But I sure appreciate everyone for tapping in. Check out the merch. Should be the link in the bio. I sure appreciate everyone for continue to support. It's So Get the Podcast. I'm KD. Show brought to you by The Look of Greatness. Have a good one.